Hello, awesome humans. I'm Natalie, and today I want to talk to you about an absolutely essential leadership skill that most of us are missing. But before we dive into that and talk about that, I want to tell you how I define what it means to be a leader. Here's my definition. You are a leader if you positively impact other people's capacity to thrive. I'm going to say it again. You are a leader if you positively impact other people's capacity to thrive. Now, notice I didn't talk about your title. I didn't talk about you having to manage people. That is not what makes you a leader. What makes you a leader is if you intentionally, positively impact other people, their growth, their well-being, their wisdom, their ability to thrive, to be at their best. That is my definition of leadership. And, you know, I've had an opportunity to work with tens of thousands of leaders in all kinds of different organizations and companies. And that is the one trait that great leaders have in common, is they care about positively impacting other people. They care about and they do things to help people that they lead thrive and grow and flourish. So that is my definition of leadership. And again, it has absolutely nothing to do with whether you manage a team or not. So what is this essential leadership skill that most leaders are missing? Well, here it is. The most important leadership skill that I have seen most leaders who I've been able to interact with not really focus on cultivating is emotional fitness. Now, emotional fitness, what? Well, emotional fitness is a skill of learning how to struggle less through challenges. It's a skill of learning how to optimize your emotional and mental energy so you can bring your fullest capacity to your work, to the challenges you're facing, so that you can show up as your best self, so you can bring your fullest capacity to all the people that you interact with. That's what it means to practice emotional fitness. And yet, you don't hear about emotional fitness skills in leadership programs. We don't talk about learning emotional fitness skills in school or in MBA programs. It's not something we focus on, and yet it is absolutely essential. Now, I think intuitively, right, as you listen to me, you probably know that when you're exhausted, deflated, when you haven't taken a moment for yourself, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you cannot be at your best. I think we all know that intuitively, but I want to tell you that there are literally mountains of research that show that when you cultivate your well-being, when you invest in your emotional fitness, you are more productive, you are more creative, you are more resilient through challenges, you make better decisions, you are better at helping other people. And so you cannot be at your best, you cannot be a great leader, you cannot positively impact others, which is my definition of leadership, if you don't first positively impact yourself, if you don't invest in your emotional fitness skills. And you know, this is the work that I do. So this is something that I teach leaders, but I have to tell you, this was a personal learning for me. I didn't learn about this, you know, by doing some kind of academic research. I was a leader for most of my career. I became a leader really early on, and I was proud to be a leader. And I thought that to be a great leader meant to sacrifice myself for others. It meant that I should only care about my team, and I did. I cared about the teams that I led very, very much, but I really took it to mean to almost be like a martyr leader, that I need to come last, that my needs need to come last, that my emotional and mental health needs to come last, that it's most important that I focus on my team. And I had to learn a really, really painful lesson. I completely burnt out after a 20-year very successful career. I broke down. It was a really, really scary time in my life. My whole life went on pause. I really thought that everything that was meaningful to me, from, you know, my company, my team, my marriage, my family, my life, was over. It was a really, really dark time. But, you know, the blessing of that was that I, for the first time, began to learn this lesson that I could not be a great leader if I was not first cultivating my own emotional fitness, that never taking care of my mental health, never giving myself breaks, that never even recognizing that I'm a human being and I have feelings and emotions and I need my own care and support, that did not make me a great leader. That allowed me or enabled me to bring really difficult energy to my teams. I definitely was not as patient as I could have been. I definitely, as I was becoming really overwhelmed with stress, I was not making great decisions. I was not as great of a listener as I could have been. And more than even any of these actions, you impact other people, not just through the things you do or through the things you say. You impact other people through your energy, through your emotional and mental energy. And I was bringing that depleted, exhausted, stressed out energy to my team every day as a leader because I was neglecting my own emotional fitness. And so I want to encourage you, and this is what I try to encourage leaders that I work with to do, to recognize that you need to make your own emotional fitness your number one priority as a leader, as a person, excuse me, as a human being. And by the way, we are all parts of different teams in our lives. You are a leader of your family, of your group of friends, of your community, again, if you want to positively impact other people's capacity to thrive. And so please recognize that both in the work context and outside of work, if you are depleted, if you are not investing in your own emotional fitness, you cannot bring your best to people you impact. You cannot positively impact them. And so investing in your emotional fitness skills is the least selfish thing you can do. And more than that, it is your number one responsibility as a leader in whatever capacity you're leading, because when you fuel yourself, when you take care of your emotional and mental health, when you recognize that that is something you need to practice, including things like emotional awareness, becoming aware of your feelings, including things like emotional openness. When you're feeling something that kind of outside the norm, maybe you had a really stressful day, of being open about that with your team so people don't have to struggle wasting so much energy trying to figure out why is Nataly acting so weird today? That practicing these emotional fitness skills is your number one responsibility so that you can be at your best capacity to positively impact other people's capacity to thrive. And so this is like the Nataly pep talk, the Nataly leadership pep talk, to implore you and encourage you to make your emotional fitness your number one priority, and to recognize that when you practice these emotional fitness skills, when you invest in your own emotional and mental health as a leader, you are bringing the benefits of that, not just to your work, not just by becoming better at making decisions and setting priorities and all of those important things, but you are bringing that emotional and mental health to every single person you interact with, because our human emotions are contagious, but as leaders, you have a greater and amplified impact on every single person you interact with. And so if you fuel yourself, if you take care of your emotional, mental, and physical needs, if you practice your emotional fitness skills, you have that much more to bring and give to others. And you are then better able, you're then better, your capacity to be a leader is greater, because again, leadership is all about your ability to positively impact other people's capacity to thrive. So I hope you find this helpful. I always love hearing from you all in the comments, so please comment and like this video if you found it useful. It helps other people find it. Please subscribe to my channel. I share videos on emotional fitness skills every week. Here's another great video that you might want to watch. But more importantly, commit to your emotional fitness as a leader, as a human, because you cannot give what you don't have. When you practice these skills, when you fuel yourself, you have so much more to give to others. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your week, and I'll see you next week with another video. Take good care.